Welcome to DDL. I'm Justin. This is T. We're going to get into it.
Okay. Welcome to Fan Favorite Fridays, everyone. And you had an interesting thought on what we should cover. Since keeping in with the conspiratorial mode, let's talk about the conspiracies surrounding the first Trump assassination attempt shooter.
Ooh.
I like it. And I'm going to let you start because I think you might know more about this topic than I do.
Let's see. Well, again, we have the BlackRock commercial. So
I need to check that out. I need to find it and figure out what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah. So the kid was in a BlackRock commercial. The other conspiracy being as far as how, again, we go back to how he got on the roof, how he had a rangefinder, how he had a ladder, how he had a gun.
How he had the drone flying up over
How he had the drone flying.
Yep.
All of that alone should be enough for them to question him. They did not even pull him aside and question him.
Yep. Yeah.
Not one question?
Crazy. Huh?
Nope. Ship shape. Everything's good.
Wasn't he also seen carrying a long gun?
Yes. He was seen carrying all of those items.
Crazy.
They saw him with the drone. They saw him with the rangefinder. They saw him with the ladder. And they saw him with the gun. And I don't know if he was carrying the gun and the ladder at the same time, but my guess is he probably could have had the ladder under one arm, the gun slung around his back, the rangefinder here, and the drone tucked under his other shoulder. He could have had all four of them, and they wouldn't have stopped and questioned him at all. It's.
I bet you the 3-letter alphabet actually escorted him to the building site.
Right.
And helped him set up the ladder.
Right.
I'm teasing. I have no idea if that's true or not. I'm teasing.
He's teasing. Here's the thing. That alone sets off warning bells. And again, we already talked about, hey, look, if I'm on security, what's the only thing that I'm looking at? Where's the stage going to be set up? And where's the high points? That's literally the only thing that I know about security. And I don't know jack crap about security. And I think I brought this up a few episodes ago. It is
real quick. Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Wasn't the roof that he was on actually inside the perimeter as well? Other roofs were covered, but his roof that he was on was not.
Only one roof was covered by Secret Service.
Okay, sorry. I was just trying to, since you were on the security stuff.
So the roof behind, back to the right, Trump's back right, had the snipers on him, and we could see him in the video where, you could actually see him on the live feed. Then there were two other roofs that were away, further away. I think it was within 350, was it yards or feet? I don't remember. Yards, maybe. But that roof was not covered. There was no police presence there. There was no Secret Service presence there. Again, I go back to, if I am doing the security detail for Trump, stage, what are the high points? Because wherever he's standing, the high points can rain down on. So let's make sure those are either occupied or we have surveillance. And if anything moves on those roofs, they're getting shot first. Questions are getting asked later. Now, the other thing is how long it took for the gunman to actually fire. And they actually have surveillance, and you see the gunman line up, and you see him. He's kind of looking just passively, and then he sees, and you see him rotate his gun, and he waits. Pop, 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 boom, and then he shoots. And it was somebody who was recording, just recording the rally, who had that footage, and he was off to the side. So you saw him ready himself, look, and he waits for the shots to get fired before he turns and hits. And here's the thing. If you're on the roof, what else are you looking at besides the other roofs?
Well, and you probably threat assessing the crowd as well.
Yes, absolutely. But you're definitely not looking at the roofs.
That's true.
Like it's a white roof. You're going to see any color of movement on the white roof. And so on top of that, I go back to, okay, it's because I was talking about this with a friend, and I said, you check the stage and check the high points. And they said, yeah. And then you get you want to have metal detectors and make sure that security. And I said, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, that too. But me not knowing anything about security, that's the first thing I do. And I didn't even think about like having metal detectors or checking people like that. I was like, oh, that's brilliant. But that's just the thing. I have no idea how to protect a president, and I could have done a better job at protecting the president than the actual people whose literal job it is to protect the president.
Well, hold on. Let's go ahead and explore the conspiracy that this was a Trump plant that they allowed to shoot him, and when he fell, he was actually a red dye or whatever. I'm just saying, there's that conspiracy as well that came up out of this. Not just the failures of the alphabet soup, but also that Donald Trump actually did this to gain favor among the American people.
Trump's not that smart, and he's not that stupid. Simultaneously, he's not that smart to think of it, and he's not that stupid to let somebody take a shot at him. You're telling me somebody's going to take a shot right in my ear? And I'm just going to sit there and pretend like I don't know what's happening? Excuse me, I am so brilliant. You know what? I would see somebody shooting at me before anybody else. Like, are you kidding?
Everyone already knows.
Everyone
says it. It's not me. Everyone's telling me.
I'm the most observant president that's ever been. Are you kidding me?
That's what
There's no way.
I'm not saying it. That's what they say.
Yes. There's absolutely no way he's that smart or that stupid.
Plus, the simple fact that let's say he did allow someone to actually take a shot in the freaking ear. Let's say that he's dumb enough to actually do that. The simple fact that you're going to allow someone that close to actually killing you? I'm sorry.
No.
I don't buy that.
I don't trust the top marksman.
Nope.
With a scope.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
Happening.
That's my head. No.
Nope, not happening.
You want to demonstrate it 1,000 times on a watermelon? Okay, go ahead. Okay, now it's time for you to put your head there. No!
Yeah. You hit it 1,000 times out of 1,000. I'm going to be that 1,001 where you miss.
Yes.
No,
thank you. No. So I like it. It's cute. It's cute when the left tries to get involved in conspiracy theories. They're so bad at it. But let's, like, what else? Like, again... We could review so many other things about what went wrong that day because there's too much to cover. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, here is what needs to happen. Well, you know what? That's probably big picture. I should talk about that later.
We should
let me talk about that later. Okay, what are some other specifics that we should get into as far as what seemed off about the reporting and what seemed off about what actually happened that day?
The simple fact, I think one of the biggest ones that I've always questioned is the dude was identified.
Yeah.
It's been known that the dude was identified multiple times, but no one ever gave the order to actually intervene.
The fact that, well, and we talked about how there was the order to stand down.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But the fact that a guy in a Make America Great Again visor with fake orange hair coming out of the top of it, where he crossed out 2020 and sharpied in 2024, was observant enough to go, hey, that guy's up there. There's a threat on the roof. You remember that guy. He still had a beer in his hand.
Why?
He had a beer in his hand while he was being interviewed.
Did he have that accent? I'm sorry, I gotta ask, or were you just saying like Trump supporters?
He looked like it was in Pennsylvania, but he definitely looked like a country bumpkin. All I'm saying is that guy was smarter than the Secret Service that day. That guy cared more about the president's life that day. That guy who had a beer in hand, who was probably hammered because he said we were partying before we came out here and we were walking across and I went, hey, that guy got a gun. The guy who was hammered's like, hey, there's something off here. And the Secret Service, who have rooftop access and a straight line of sight to the other roof, didn't notice a thing.
So you.
By the way, that guy. No shade on that guy because you're awesome. Whoever that guy is, you're awesome.
There was one aspect of the Secret Service that we should actually discuss as well, which is the Biden was supposedly Biden was supposedly hosting an event or the Biden family or something like that that kind of got called up, and they had to split Secret Service in order to cover both events. Now, it's interesting because there is a thought, there's something I've heard, and it kind of makes sense in some way, shape, or form, is was there a plot that they were going to have this impromptu visit in order to split the Secret Service, in order to say, hey, because this happened, the Secret Service was cut in half, what should have been guarding Trump. So when the assassination attempt actually succeeded, there was plausible deniability that the Secret Service actually was in on it.
I don't care if the B team is involved. You got to be in on it. Here's again, I go back to the shooter on the roof. The local police spotted him and tried to get him down, and that's when the local police officer came up onto the roof, and then he turned the gun and pointed, and then the police officer came back down. It was the local police who even spotted the shooter before the Secret Service. Look, I know that the local police are a very important part of the protection detail, but they are not the first and foremost leaders. Like, they're not the ones who are literally trained to spot threats in that sort of a way. Now they do have police training, but they're not Secret Service trained. There's a difference between police training and Secret Service training, which is why not every policeman can be part of the Secret Service.
100%.
It's an elite level of protection.
Dan Bongino, he was ex-Secret Service.
Yeah.
He actually covered this fairly well.
I should have watched that. I used to watch him a lot. I should have watched some of his coverage.
I didn't watch all of it, but there were certain parts where I did catch like clips and stuff that he was talking about.
Yeah.
He was actually talking about like how local police are not actually typically used in that sense.
Yeah.
Like that building would have been 100% the responsibility of Secret Service.
Right.
And the simple fact that they didn't take responsibility and actually gave it to the local police was actually something very abnormal. And
interesting.
I'm just like,
that makes sense.
That's interesting.
Yep.
And this is coming from a guy who used to be Secret Service. You would think that he would know their protocols.
He does. He does.
I would assume he did. I would take him as an expert on the topic.
Yeah. Yeah.
But granted, then you also have the Secret Service, that lady that ended up resigning. What was that? Did she end up resigning?
Yes, she did.
But
But now she gets a nice pension and all that other.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
It's sad that our political figures and these people in these 3-letter alphabet soups can fail upwards as much as they do. It's insane.
Well, and that's what I didn't want to dive into too soon, but I guess we can do here. Here's the problem. Either A, you have the most inept, incompetent Secret Service force in the world who can't even do what I talked about.
Okay.
Securing rooftops and lines of sight to the stage. You either have that, and who ignore threats, and who ignore people screaming about threats, and who see somebody shooting, wait until all shots are fired, then returns fire, who also don't know how to properly cover the president, who also, you name it, this was a failure at every single level for the Secret Service. And either A, it was unintentional, and in that case, every person that's on that security detail should be fired. Or B, it was intentional, and they were in on it, and every single person who was a part of that detail should be fired. The entire Secret Service needs revamping. Either way, either because they're immoral and they let somebody get shot at, or they're completely incompetent and are derelict in their duties. Your literal job is to protect the president. Your literal job is to determine threats. And you made some blatant errors that even somebody who's not that bright spotted. Like, I'm sorry, you're fired. You did a terrible job. Everybody knows it.
I'm not saying it. Everyone else is. It's like my favorite thing that Trump does. He's just like, I'm not saying it. Everyone else is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, what? Dude, you're literally saying it right now.
People say I'm amazing. I don't say it. They say it. I go, well, if you think I'm amazing, who am I to argue with you? That's fine.
Oh my god!
But again,
you're kind of hitting on points that I kind of wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
Which is,
Before that, is there any other nitty gritty details that are just like, what in the world?
Well, the simple fact that he was flying a drone around, I think it was like 4 hours before the event started.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
The FAA.
Yes. It's literally illegal.
Restricts airspace.
Yeah.
The drones cannot fly in there. So if you had a drone flying in there, you had to go with an older model and or get a new one, revamp it to bypass their system, so that way you can even fly it. So, and
either that or the airspace wasn't secured.
That's true too. That's the other option.
Yeah.
So that one is a really big concern. The drone one, how?
Yes.
How?
Yep. Yeah, that's huge.
Did I say FFA or did I say FAA?
Either way, whichever one it is.
They're about the same.
You know
anymore.
who you are.
So that
you done messed up, FAA, Ron. Sorry.
So that was the one that I thought was really interesting, is because that actually starts pulling in outside.
Yeah,
3-letter alphabet soups.
Yes, this has to be a failure at multiple agencies across multiple disciplines. Which is it more likely that more agencies failed, or that, hey, you know what, we got one shot to take them out?
Well, I think this is the most plausible thing, and maybe this might be jumping the gun too soon. But let's jump back to the Steele dossier. Mm-hmm. FBI gets the Steele dossier, that is Clinton Oppo research, right? Clinton Oppo research leaks it to the press, and then that way the FBI gains it and starts using it into starting all this Russia Gate crap and whatnot, all this stuff. All that's been proven to have existed.
And it's also been proven false.
And proven false.
Yeah.
It's been proven existed. I mean, like that story has been proven to be true. And it's also been proven that none of the crap happened.
Yeah.
And it's also proven that a lawyer that worked for the FBI that now works for Google, I believe, or no, I'm sorry, started working for Twitter before Elon Musk bought it. There's just so much that ties in together that just makes it so you can't really believe it. But this lawyer that worked for the FBI actually lied on the FISA document in order to continue to surveil Trump and his associates.
Because they had to renew the FISAs.
They had to renew it.
Yeah.
And he lied. He manufactured false evidence known as fraud, which is illegal, and in this case would be punishable probably by about 20 years in prison. Nonetheless, that has been proven to have happened. So if that has been proven to have happened, that these ill-intentioned people working within the FBI were targeting and trying to overthrow the duly elected president of the United States, also known as a coup, if that is prevalent in the FBI, does it not stand to reason that this sentiment is felt by multiple people across multiple agencies, not just within the FBI, within the CIA, within the NSA, within the DEA, within Secret Service? All of this is feasibly possible. Not saying it's true. I'm just saying it is feasibly possible, which does now lead to, could this actually happen, and could they kind of just turn the blind eye? They don't have to do anything. They can just turn the blind eye.
Right. And again, I go back to, is it turning a blind eye or is it actual involvement?
It's an excellent question.
That's at the very least, either you're the dumbest people on earth, or you turned a blind eye, or you were involved. So I guess there's three options.
Three options. I would agree with you. I think there's three options.
Yeah. Now, look, as much as I generally say don't chalk up to malice what can be...
I was just going to go there.
Yeah. What can be accredited to incompetence. I think there's something darker here. Because, again, if you are, a professional at something and there's kind of like, I don't know, something that's secondary to what you do and you fail on the secondary thing, I get that. Sometimes that happens. Yeah. Like when we talk about with a plane coming out of the sky, like, hey, the actual pilots aren't the ones who check the outside and the fuselage and all that. They trust the other people to do it. And sometimes a pilot might miss something that's secondary that they should have caught because they figured, hey, this guy who's inspecting the outside should have caught it, and so they would have let me know. So can you sometimes have a secondary thing go wrong that you should have caught? Yeah, absolutely. But when your primary and some would argue only mission is to protect the president, your only duty is to detect threats to the president. Mm-hmm. That's your only job. Mm-hmm. Your secondary job, there is none. It's just the first thing. Only protect him. Only detect threats to him. That's it. That is your job. When you fail at your primary job, well, now I think the thing that you were trained to do, when you fail in that, I don't know if I can chalk that up to incompetence anymore.
You just made me think of something. So let's say that, let's, for the sake of argument, just say that this was purely incompetence. Do you think that possibly the second shooter, the attempted assassination on Trump, was actually hired by the Secret Service in order for them to prove that they're not incompetent to stop him before Trump was in any danger?
Yes.
I'm just throwing that out there. It just came into my mind.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So either way, there's a conspiracy somewhere in this.
Yes,
way, shape,
I
or
absolutely
form.
I absolutely believe. Oh wow, you did a good job, and you found somebody hiding in the bushes. You couldn't even find somebody on a rooftop.
Well,
you found somebody hiding in the bushes, and you couldn't find somebody on an open rooftop. Yes.
I do find it funny because yes, they are trained to. Because nature does not grow in straight lines,
yes.
Right? So finding a barrel in a bush is actually not as hard as it actually you would think it would be. So it makes sense that happens. But I do find it hilarious that like that is on a gradient, or if we were putting percentages on this, that's probably like 100 times harder or 100% harder to do than catching someone against the white rooftop. Mm-hmm. I 100% agree with you. I'm just throwing it out there. But even with that, there's no way you can miss that.
Right. And it goes like, let's say you have a football coach. He just forgets to call plays. It's literally it's your only job. Our team got out there and we got smoked. Really, what happened? Well, we just went out there and I just forgot to call plays. Really?
You'd be fired in a heartbeat.
You forgot to do the only thing that you're called to do. You have coordinators. You have
Bill Belichick doesn't do anything. He'd totally be fired.
Yeah, he's just sitting there the whole time on the sideline going, "Huh? Would you look at that?" He never speaks into his microphone. He's just sitting there doing this the whole game. He's watching each side just. Oh, was I supposed to be involved with that? Yes! It's your only job. Yeah, sorry. That's I don't
I love that analogy. That was a good analogy. I love it.
I was trying to find it, but yeah. Thank you.
Oh god.
Yeah, and again I go back to that's actually a great call out because it's the news cycle goes so fast. It's been so long I forgot about the FBI literally was weaponized against him, including Comey, including all of the leaders within the FBI. And not just at his position, but at multiple positions under him. Yep. And they literally had text messages between agents going back and forth saying, we need to get this guy, we need to do everything we can to prevent this guy from being president or to get him out of office.
Peter Strzok and his girlfriend?
Yes, absolutely.
That they were both cheating on their spouses, I do believe?
Yes. At every level, they wanted him out. And so
Michael Flynn, isn't Michael Flynn still in prison for all this crap too?
Yep.
More or less because...
Or did he get pardoned?
No.
Okay.
Trump never pardoned him or anything.
Okay.
All of this should be overturned.
Yeah.
All of his convictions should have been overturned because they fabricated evidence in order to surveil him.
Yeah.
And then they pressured him into basically taking a freaking deal.
Yeah.
Michael Flynn should be free as hell.
Yeah.
All these FBI guys too. I don't understand how none of them ended up getting prosecuted.
Yeah. Well, who did they get prosecuted by?
The DOJ, which is also weaponized against anyone that's not a Democrat.
Yes.
Merrick Garland.
Yeah.
Though, that kind of leads into a whole other conspiracy. We're not even going to go down that road.
But again, that we literally have proof in text message, in documentation that the FBI was against Donald Trump in multiple levels throughout the FBI.
Yep.
So is it really a big stretch to go, the FBI wanted him to disappear? Because they said, let's get him out by any means necessary. Now, what they meant was, let's do everything we can, whether it's shady or not, to try to bring charges against him that will mark him and embarrass him and get rid of him. Now, for you and I to say, well, by any means necessary, for you and I to say that, it's a big step to go, well, there's a difference between trying to smear his name and killing him. But in the FBI, you're literally dealing with murder and double agents, and like you're familiar with ending people's lives to get what you want politically or monetarily. So for them, the thought of ending Trump's life, that's not a big jump for people, because they deal with that on an almost daily basis. So
at that level they do.
Yeah.
So the other interesting fact that kind of got brought, that we kind of skipped, is the media was also complicit in all this as well. So if we go all the way back to the Steele dossier in 2015, 2016, when Trump got elected and all that bull crap, you remember that story about that news article that got published about there is a videotape of something somewhere showing Trump doing something at some time, but no one knows what it is. And it was like the holy grail that they wanted to freaking find, but no one could tell what it was But that was the level of insanity that the news media was also playing, and the news media
wasn't that the peeing on the.
That was one of them.
Okay.
There was another tape that was supposedly in an elevator of something.
Gotcha.
But there was that P tape, the infamous P tape that never existed.
Yeah.
But where I was going with this is the media was complicit as well, because the FBI and the media would actually work together. The FBI wanted to investigate something, but they couldn't actually investigate it because there was no information or no evidence for it. So it would casually get leaked into the media, and then because the media started posting on it or publishing it, they're just like, oh wait, here's the evidence that shows this. It was a big circular argument, and the funny thing is it's all controlled by the Democrats.
Right. We have a report that says Trump did, like, they leak the information. Hey, Trump did this. Put it on Tuesday night's news. They report, hey, we have a source that says Trump did this. And then they go, oh, well, we as the FBI, we now have to investigate because it's been reported that Trump did this. And we would be derelict in our duties if we didn't pursue this report.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That, it's amazing because, yes, the news cycle, Americans' memories are so damn short.
Yep.
This was only, 8 years ago? And, what? Come on. So
I was a different person then.
Yeah.
So.
I know we were going to keep it around 45, but I was hoping to keep it around 30.
As far as time, doesn't matter for me, but I just wanted to make sure we fleshed the whole topic out, making sure we got everything that we wanted to on this. Is there what else as far as because I heard the number of shots and the echoes. I didn't get into that because you're dealing with somebody's cell phone camera and they could have rotated it. And so anyway, some of that stuff was in there as well. What else was there as far as the assassination attempt that was botched completely or that was just overlooked?
I'm not 100% sure. I think we covered everything.
Was there it was his van had a bunch of stuff in it as well.
Oh, I did not hear about that.
Yeah, his van had undetonated explosives.
That's right. I remember hearing about that. Now that you mention it, yep. The other aspect, I'm sorry, there is something that we haven't covered.
Yeah.
Sorry, just popped in my head. The level of assistance that he would have had to have required because his skill level was so low, it has to be questioned as well, right? So, yes, he was a shooter on his high school team, I believe. Yeah. But there was other aspects where he did not have access to certain things. The drone The explosive, that's what actually made me think about is he doesn't have any training on how to make the explosives. So how did he get those?
Right.
So there were some questions regarding how he was able to actually obtain, supposedly he obtained like blueprints of how the stage and everything was going to be set up.
Yep.
He had no drone pilot's license, or he had no access to a drone or something like that, or and how to bypass the FAA or know to go to an older model that was pre-FFA, block out period. So there was a bunch of questions that arise on how he was able to circumvent like the basic level security. So sorry, that explosive one jogged my memory on that.
Right. Well, and other just weird things about him as well. Just he was 19 years old and he had very, very, very little presence on social media.
Yep.
And even if you're a nerd, you still have presence on social media. In fact, my argument would be you're driven deeper into social media, whether it's it might not be the big platforms we talked about, the Facebook, the Instagram, the TikTok, but what about Discord servers? What about Twitch subscriptions and streams and comments? Because they can pull all that too. And there's probably, I don't know how many people do you know that are nerdy introverts that aren't into computers?
Not very many.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think
that's kind of where you're driven to. If you do that.
Absolutely, because you don't have friends in the real world.
Yep.
So you have to cultivate them online.
Yep.
Now they pulled some comments from Gab, but again, I go to he had to have been involved in Discord servers on Reddit. He had to have been involved in social media somewhere.
Yep.
Especially if he was this radicalized.
Yep. 100%.
To the point where he was so passionate he wanted to kill President Trump. There had to have been some sort of a trail there that would have led to that. And the fact that, we didn't find anything. Well, that seems kind of strange that somebody would be so angry that they want to kill the president, but they don't express it in person to anybody, and they don't express it online anywhere. That seems weird.
I agree.
So,
I don't think there's anything else that I can think of. You jogged my memory on that one, but
silverware.
Oh yeah, you were saying that he
just weird stuff. Well, the CIA or the FBI comes to your house and you just don't have silverware. Oh, that's weird.
Maybe they actually had silverware, and the FBI agent just needed a little extra cash, so he pocketed it.
Or maybe they were hiding the good silverware. Maybe they were just like they're like, we only break this out for special occasions.
I like how we're stretching for conspiracies on this one.
But there's no conspiracy needed. We saw what we saw. We don't have there doesn't have to be some 5D chess thing happening here. We can look at it and just go, "Oh, you guys tried to kill the president.
Yeah.
You guys tried to kill him and you got caught." And here's what I go back to when we talked about it when it first happened. What happened right after Trump didn't get killed? The very next day, what happened?
Oh, the media was giving crap about how he stood up and said, "Fight, fight, fight."
Oh, no, sorry. The very next week, what happened? Within 1 week later, what happened? After Trump didn't get killed, a week later,
Biden dropped out.
Yes, and that solidifies it because they thought they could kill Trump and keep Biden, and they'd get enough supporters for Biden that it wouldn't matter at that point when Trump's dead.
Yep.
It wouldn't matter who they ran.
Yep.
But as soon as Trump dodged that bullet, they went, "Oh crap!" Not only were the polls saying that Biden was probably going to lose to Trump, but now we just made him a national hero.
You know what we need to do? We need to start a fundraiser to get a statue of Trump in like the Neo Matrix pose with the bullets flying past him. We should do it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's good. And it goes back to, well, guess what? Your social media companies are spying on you, and they can listen to your microphone and your device, and they're actually giving you ads based on spying on you. And we're just like, we know. We've
no shit. No shit.
Again, it goes back to this Trump thing. Yeah, we know. We know what we saw. You guys tried to kill him. You missed.
Mm-hmm. If you're gonna take a shot at the king, make sure you don't miss.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I think he's the king. It's a saying.
Everybody's saying it. They said you should be a king. You should be a monarch. And I say, look, hey, I don't know if I should or shouldn't. But at the end of the day, if anybody was good enough to be a king,
it'd be me.
Look, I think I'd be an excellent king, a wonderful king. Some people would say the best king.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and end it. You guys have a good one. Thank you guys for tuning in. Till next time.